Hey, this is Rob Hirschfeld, and we just made some changes to how we build working ISOs for developers. Simplified things quite a bit, and I'm really excited about the changes to DevTool. We've detailed them over here on this page. I'm in the process of validating it, and I'm shooting this video to validate that all these instructions are still the same, and I figured I'd just walk people through it as I did the validation. So here we go. You can get to this page on the GitHub wiki using DevTool. There's also a bit.ly link for Crowbar build, Crowbar Dev Tool, like that. It will take you, no surprise, to the exact same page. And then I'll update this link once I cut the new video. So here's what we do. We start with a handy, in this case Ubuntu 12.04, VM somewhere in the cloud or on your VM or desktop or anywhere you want. I have this running as a desktop machine, as a VM, and as a cloud server. Choice is yours. If you're doing dev work, though, I highly recommend a VM or on your desktop so that you can do quick turn testing. So I have my system. I have a GitHub account. I am Cloud Edge, and I have a nice beefy VM. The one I'm using is not quite that big, and I'm using 12.04. This is the minimum, and here we go. All this stuff will get taken care of as we go, so I'm skipping some of these things. They're all helpful to know, but not required. Okay. This one I do like to do, though. It's helpful to be in the to-doers list. Okay. Then, next thing I'm going to do, making sure that my server's public key is registered to my GitHub account. I'm not going to use the. I'm going to use SSH. I'm not going to use SCP. So this step I can probably eliminate, and I'm going to make sure my machine is up to date. Always handy to walk through these steps. And I'm not going to make you watch all this when we have some gray bar time. I'm going to pause and jump around a little bit so that you don't have to watch me talk and figure out what to say while the server downloads more and more and more packages. This one was pretty fast. Sudo apt-get install. Why type? I have cut and paste. So this is going to bring in all the packages that we need as prereqs and dependencies. There's a little bit of Ruby, so we're going to need to do a gem. And then the action is going to happen on cloning the GitHub. Good news here is that we really haven't changed the instructions and how DevTool works. We've just cleaned things up so we don't use submodules anymore. And that should really reduce a lot of the confusions. It'll also reduce the fact that you have to check in on 4 different branches every time you do a pull. The other thing we've done that's really exciting is we've made it so that you can track multiple repositories simultaneously, so that way you can work with your code out of the Crowbar repository or a team repository and other steps. Next thing I want to do here is I'm going to install a couple of gems, all pretty straightforward. And nice thing about doing this on a cloud server is I'm not dealing with my ISP and their bandwidth throttling. Although I did make sure my son turned off his game servers before I did a pull. I highly recommend you do the same thing. So now I've gotten the Crowbar repository. All this is pretty good. I have an account, so we're going to do that. If you don't have an account, follow these build ISO instructions. They just build the ISO. Pretty handy for that. So now we can go into Crowbar. Good. And I'm going to do a .dev. This /dev turns on is DevTool commands, and I want to do setup. Ignore that ulimit warning. Okay, I need my GitHub username. Mine is, put in yours when you do this, not mine, because you don't know my password, I hope. I am Cloud Edge. It's always hard to type under pressure. So now DevTool is going to come in and build all the sub-projects. Remember, Crowbar is structured as a bunch of independent sub-projects. Each one's called a bar clamp. In the sub-projects is really where all the code is. The Crowbar GitHub is pretty small. It just contains enough information to do the build and bring everything together. So this is where you're going to start doing the downloading and take some time. And that means I'm going to pause, come back when we have completed this step. Alright, so I completed the setup. Setup's giving me some tips and hints to configure Git with my username. I am Rob Hirschfeld, and my email address, which is robhirschfeld@dell.com. Very surprising email there. I haven't done any commits. You don't have to do this if you're just going to pull, if you're just going to check out. But if you're going to submit code, please update your Git configuration information. All right, so now we've advanced. We've ignored our ulimit warnings. We've created our personal forks by doing setup. We have updated our username, and now we're going to get some code. Dev fetch. And this is literally going to pull in all the code. Sort of like I'm fetching it from Git. So this is part of the normal cycle. Anytime you want to make sure that you have the latest code, use git fetch. And it's going to bring in code from Crowbar and the Dell Crowbar GitHub, and then from my personal branches, which if you didn't have them, it just created. So be warned, the first time you do this, you're going to have an explosion of, oh, I should do that in my TV voice. You're going to have an explosion of Git repositories in your account, because that's how we manage tracking all these bar clamps. So from there, I'm going to need Sledgehammer before I can do anything interesting. Sledgehammer is not dev. It's own build. So I'm going to build it. And the first thing it's going to realize is that, hey, I don't have CentOS, which is part of the requirements for Sledgehammer. So it is going to start bringing those things in and sucking down some bandwidth. So that'll take a little bit of time. Actually, it takes quite a bit of time to build Sledgehammer. So I'm going to pause and come back in a little while. We'll be back after these commercial messages. Alright, so now we've built the Sledgehammer distro, and we can actually check to see where it is. Sorry. It is going to be in the Crowbar build cache. There's Sledgehammer right here, happily hiding, waiting for the time when we need to use it. And also CentOS 6.2 has been downloaded. All excellent. So let me go back and go to Crowbar again. So now I can do some DevTool stuff. So we're back here. Step number 4. Took quite a while. You guys were paused in sleep. 20 minutes. So now I need to, in this case I don't have to do this step because I'm using 1204. I'm building, but if you're not using 1204, like if you're using a VMware machine and you want to use shared folders, that doesn't work on, hasn't been working on 1204 for me, so I used 1110. Then I need to take the step. I don't have to because I'm using 1204 right here. And now I'm going to switch to development. Pretty straightforward. So what this does is puts me in the main part of the code base, and I can look at what my options for releases are. Wow, we've got quite a number of them now. And then I'm going to check out. Let's see. I don't know if I want. In this case, I don't want the OpenStack build. I'm going to go for master. So we're going to check out master. Because I'm just what I'm building right now is just the main part of what we're developing for Crowbar 2. So that is trunk. I could check out OpenStack. Let me try it. Let me do that just for fun. OpenStack OS. That's the open source build. And and it's going to switch a whole bunch of stuff, bring those things in. If I go back to master, it's going to turn them off because they're not part of the open source stuff. It's exactly like what it used to do, just doesn't use submodules. Okay, so all that stuff is good. See, I switched, turned them on, now they're off. Pretty straightforward. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, I'm going to build. That didn't do what I meant to do. The moment you've been waiting for. Where's my drum roll? Alright. Phew, it's a good thing I don't have a job as a comedian. I'm going to do a dev build, and I need to pass in the update cache flag because this is my first build. I don't normally build with update cache because normally we don't change the cache that much. But if you do build with update cache, it will bring in all the dependencies that are specified in the bar clamps for the build, which I need to do for my first build. Once again, finding all those dependencies, downloading them, stuffing them in the cache, takes some time, takes some disk space, takes some love. And so it's going through that process right now. Telling me I don't have Ubuntu, which I need. Alright, so DevTool didn't automatically bring in the CentOS image. Not sure why, we're going to figure that out, but I'm going to show you how to do it yourself. It's not that hard. So what I need to do is I need to go back up to my Crowbar build cache. Happy there. I need to be in the ISO directory because that's where we keep the ISOs. There is, looks like there's already one there. But it's the wrong size. Let me remove it. It's not helping me. And over here, I've gone to releases Ubuntu 12.04. I want the server, and I want the this one. So I'm going to copy the link address and wget. Boom. Now I'm downloading the ISO that I need to do the build. This is going to take a little bit of time. There's some good bandwidth going on off this cloud server. Since it's about 90 seconds, now it's back up to 2 minutes. I'll come back in 2 minutes and we'll move from there. Alright, so that took a little bit longer than the 2 minutes that was advertised, but hopefully we'll get this so that you don't have to worry about it. But it's good to know how all this stuff works so you can troubleshoot it yourself. Alright, let's see. I'm going to remove this one. Good, and I'm going to rename this one. There we go. Alright, now I should be able to go to Crowbar, and I should be able to do a dev build, and I want Ubuntu 12.04, and I want to update the cache. So now it's going to go through the process, checking out all the dependencies, seeing what's going on, pulling all the pieces. We are working to keep Hadoop and OpenStack up to date as we work on Crowbar 2, but it's not our primary focus. Our primary focus is building Crowbar 2. So if you want to do Crowbar 2 development, I suggest working on trunk, unless you have things that have to touch all the bar clamps. And this is what build looks like when it's working. It's going to take a little while to do all those downloads and things like that, so I will check back in after it's completed. Okay, so now after about 10 minutes or so, I'm done. So what's happened is we got a very clear message at the end, created a new ISO, here is the path of the ISO, and if let me do this, then bingo, there's the ISO, and if I follow the install instructions, I will have a fresh version of Crowbar 2 off the latest build. This type of thing that you can easily duplicate on a VM or on a system of your own, and it would let you do a turn and test of the whole system. So I hope this has been helpful. Keep crowbarring.